Hi, I'm TJ Hirsch, and this is my cousin Angela Valone. As we were introduced, we just got back from the trip of a lifetime. Last month, we climbed to the top of the highest freestanding mountain in the world, and we made it to the top in 6.5 days. And it was an 8-day trip, and we did it because of cancer. Both the two of us were affected through my sister Jacqueline, who was diagnosed in 2007. She was diagnosed with ALL, a form of leukemia, and she had 2 bone marrow transplants, numerous treatments of chemotherapy and radiation, and we tried everything, and nothing seemed to work. We lost Jackie in 2008, and we wanted to preserve her memory and her life and her legacy. And we started the Jacquie Hirsch for All Foundation, ALL, meaning everybody that we could help, and it also stands for ALL, the leukemia that she had. Since we initially started it, it was mostly for her medical expenses and for treatments associated with her care and her comfort. We made several trips to Sloan Kettering, also in New York City, for her treatments. And once Jackie passed away, the idea of continuing the foundation, continuing her legacy, and continuing how she lived her life by helping other people, being a school teacher, helping children, and just giving more than she received. We wanted to continue the foundation. So what we've done since then, in the past 3 years, our family has raised over $350,000 for cancer research. We started our own cancer research project at Roswell Park. We're now doing specific research on patient samples that's solely funded 100% by the foundation. And we're working very closely with Jackie's oncologist and the head of the research lab, Dr. Norman Nowak, who was very instrumental in the Human Genome Project in the 90s. So we have some brilliant doctors working basically on our side. They're funded solely by the foundation, and we're looking to determine why patients relapse after bone marrow transplants and why the form of ALL is so difficult to treat and to cure. So we also help patients in need who are either going through treatment or their families. If they need funding, we help as much as we can to provide funding for the patients themselves to get to their treatments, to get to the hospital, and also to provide for their families. If there's an adult who is basically taken off of work to watch the kids and to take a loved one or someone else in the family back and forth to treatments or to care, we kind of step in and do what we can to provide some monetary support and provide assistance, and also to the kids, to the families, basically to anyone who needs help. The other thing, we have 4 facets to the foundation: patient support, which I already touched on; research, which I already touched on; events. We have several events throughout the year that we use for fundraisers for the foundation and also to raise awareness. And also we sponsor bone marrow drives to help get people from point A to point B, which is getting people on the National Marrow Donor Program, to linking them with patients who are in need of a transplant. Because of Jackie's circumstances and her situation, and we've taken things with the foundation, over 1,200 people have been registered on the National Marrow Donor Program to be direct donors to patients if they need a life-saving transplant. And out of those 1,200 people, over 12, I believe it's 12 or 14 now, have already been direct donors to patients. So that's kind of just a little bit of a brief background. And just real quick, on this trip we climbed with 16 other cancer climbers who raised money, and as a total we raised over $40,000 on the Kilimanjaro trip for cancer research and for awareness and patient care and services. And I'll let Angela tell you a little bit more about the trip. So that's kind of just a brief background on what got us started and about the foundation. So she'll tell you a little bit more about the trip. We'll get into the slideshow and then give you some more insight into the foundation and what we did.
So TJ and I are cousins, and we were sitting around one day and he said, "So do you want to go to Africa?" I said, "Okay, yeah, I'll go to Africa." And he said, "Well, one of Jackie's friends had climbed Mount Kilimanjaro last year to raise money for American Cancer Society, and I want to do it." And I said, "Okay, I'll do it." And so that was last May. And August came around. I said, "So we signed up for this. Shouldn't we start doing some kind of training or something? We're leaving in a few months." And we didn't start raising money or anything yet, so then we really kind of hit it hard and started training. And we had a golf tournament at Deerwood in North Tonawanda. We did a bar bash at a bar in North Tonawanda. We did a few things through a gymnastics center in Williamsville, and we ended up raising between the two of us $18,000 to go towards the American Cancer Society trip. And in February, our family brought us to the airport and they sent us off. We climbed 19,340 feet. It was completely exhausting and tiring. The reason we did it was because they say battling cancer is like battling the toughest mountain. And my body definitely saw that on the way up. I got altitude sickness. Before we made it to summit, about 6 hours before, the guy told me he didn't think I was going to make it because I had been getting sick about every 2 feet. But I had to keep going. My cousin, through her chemo and everything, she didn't give up, so I couldn't give up. So we made it, and we got home safe. And I put together this video. Actually, just gave it to our family this past weekend, so you're the first ones to see it besides our family.
The video is going to touch a little bit on some of the fundraising, and then it's going to go right into pictures from the trip. So you'll see us, doing some training hikes and getting ready for the climb. You'll see some fundraising photos of various fundraisers we did to raise for the trip, and then it'll go right into pictures from the actual trip itself. So you'll see different days on the mountain. We started in the jungle where it was about 70 degrees, and then by the time we got to the top at the summit, it was maybe 12 degrees if we were lucky.
With the wind chill, it was definitely below zero. I thought I was going to lose my thumb. It was cold. They only we were only allowed at the summit for about 20 minutes because of the altitude and the cold. They had to try to get back down as fast as possible.
So you'll see pictures from basically start to finish, and then after the slideshow, we can go back and we can show you the pictures longer.
They go kind of fast, so.
We can go back and, explain more about them afterwards, but we'll let you guys get started and you can watch the